I'm not in a relationship, so my close friend didn't call me to his wedding, but he did ask me to watch his house while he's on his honeymoon. His lover tried to explain things to me, but I wouldn't listen. John is the name of the man I've been good friends with for about 11 years. He is 38 years old. Before the outbreak, we saw each other a lot at work. I met her when I was in my mid-20s. We spend less time with a group of friends we both have, but we still talk to each other. 12 years ago, John met his partner Jane, who is 36 years old. They have been together for 8 years. There has been talk of getting married for almost 2 years, and both of them have kids from past relationships. Every year they take trips with their kids, and I've been happy to stay at John's house, which is now theirs, and watch their pets while they're gone. In the past, I've helped them with different jobs and tasks. Jane and I picked her up at the airport after her business trip and drove her home during a snowstorm last winter because my car could handle it. In addition to being a friend, I've always been there for them and helped them out. A friend told me about 5 weeks ago that their wedding is coming up soon. A while ago, they invited everyone in our group, except me. In both small and big ways, some of my straight friends have made me feel left out as a gay man. I've been thinking about how I spend my time and energy with other people because of this. I chose to do what was suggested and start to stay away. John emailed me 3 days ago to see if I would be free in early to mid-August. I'm here. John asked me to come back to take care of the animals and the land, but I told him I couldn't. He calls to talk about it. We talked about the same thing again, this time being polite but tense, so I finally told you I wouldn't be coming to your house. I say, I'm sad because it looks like I'm the only one of my friends who wasn't invited to his wedding after a short pause. I also tell him that I can't help him like I did before since I'm only friends with him now. I end the call on a good note by telling them I hope their wedding and trip go well and suggesting we get together for drinks soon. Jane called me 2 days ago to follow up and said that John is mad at her and me. She told me that I was getting the situation wrong and that she was the one who chose the guests for our friends. Jane told us that there wasn't a lot of room and that the other friends in our group have partners who also needed to be asked. She also wants me to change my mind and help them because it would make John feel better. It's not okay for me to be with other people or be asked to events. Is it wrong for me to set my own limits because of theirs? Being friends with someone isn't something I do for work. But it's clear they want something from me, since they haven't invited me and haven't talked about it with me until they needed help paying for their vacation. Answers where Oppie is given an answer don't make sense. There is no answer. It looks like this friendship isn't fair, and they don't seem to value your friendship. Why do you keep putting time and effort into them? Programming that is focused on objects. We've been pretty close so far, as I said. I was there for them when they needed me, which was a lot of the time. In the past, this brought us close enough that I didn't feel stalked or used. Remember that Johns has helped me in the past, so don't judge people based on their personal lives and family duties. I was trying to say quickly how I felt connected, but there wasn't much room for that. Because other friends were asked, this made me really rethink things, but I didn't want to make their wedding about me. After leaving me out, they came to me. So far, it looks like most people agree, which makes me feel better. NTA Jane called me again a few days ago to follow up. She said that John is mad at her because she made the final choice about inviting friends and that I am not understanding what is going on. Our group of friends can only have a certain number of people. That's not a good reason. Your friends can ask a trusted friend or family member to watch their pets and house while they're away on their honeymoon. Some people amaze me with how brave they are. I think that in a friendship you should give as much out as you receive. In terms of wedding traditions, I don't know much. I do know that every wedding is different and has its own set of guests. It did hurt, though, when a friend we both knew called to make plans for our group over the wedding weekend and I wasn't asked. My friend also couldn't believe what was going on. It was awkward. How are you, Vlox? Not at all. And then to ask for help like it's not a big deal. What did your friends think? Oh, there really was a surprise. I only found out because one of them, who lives a ways away, called me first to make plans for the wedding weekend. He thought John had invited me because we are friends. I didn't want to get in the way of the wedding and make it all about me, so I let him catch up with the others. John started the talk that led to the fight a few days ago yesterday afternoon. He texted me, "I'd like to meet you for a drink tomorrow if that works for you. I want to apologize for my mistakes in person." I agreed to the meeting. While we were having drinks, John's first words were, "He let me down as a friend in this situation." Jane seemed to care more about couples than single people at the wedding, which made him feel left out and like it wasn't important. But I think Jane asked couples first when she was deciding which friends to invite. She also told John that it would be easier to invite more people once they knew who was going. John changed his mind and told her that he thought it would be best to stick with her original plan to invite the other pairs in our group. Unlike me, they are all in relationships. He thought the RSVP process would work out. In the end, she used the small room to add more family members. John told me he gave up, but he was too ashamed to tell me because he felt so bad about it. He knew it was risky to ask me for help, but he did it because he needed someone he could trust. He said that my answer confirmed his fears, and he thought it was fair. He said that a wedding should bring together family and friends who are important to you and who you want to stay important to you. He thought I met all of those requirements perfectly. He told her that he had done more for her and his family than most of the other people on the guest list. In the past 6 years, they've built a back deck together to enjoy meals and hold events, and they've also helped with trips. He got very angry when he said he didn't understand why Jane would judge me for being single while we were drinking. He couldn't believe she would do that after I helped her get home yesterday during a blizzard. He felt bad that he didn't question her logic right away. He's even more mad that Jane called me after our first phone call and did what she did. John said that his words might not sound serious right now, but he promised Jane that there would be no more games. He told me that I would get an official invitation and that I could invite someone else if I wanted to. He also said that they would make plans to meet my needs. He told us that he wouldn't try to hide what was going on and would be honest with our friends. Someone has already backed out of the wedding, and another couple has voiced their worries. He thinks he needs to own up to his mistakes and earn trust again, if that's even possible. He also asked Jane to find a friend who could watch the pets and clean the house for 9 days in a row. His smiley face told her that she was having a hard time with it and might need some help. I told John how much I loved how honest he was, and how happy I was to see the kind friend I knew in him. I told him I would always value the friendship between him and Jane. It hurt to be ignored and left out. I thought we were pretty close. I don't want to make things hard at his wedding. I have always thought that he and Jane are a great match. I did everything I could to help them, and I'm not sure what I did or didn't do to be left out. I also told Jane that I don't trust her again if she has been judging my worth based on my relationship state. As a joke, I told you that I had presented some of my ex-long-term partners to you, so it's not like I haven't been trying. And he said that he doesn't understand either. She may have upset a close single friend with her ideas about weddings. I said that this situation will have an effect on our friendship, at least for a while. I know that this is because of the fight you had with Jane, but I still hope the wedding is a happy event. Even though I told him I didn't want to go, he told me I could change my mind at the last minute and let him know. He understood and wasn't being pushy about it. John accepted that he was wrong for not staying by my side, said sorry, and apologized. He also told her that he was thankful for having her in his life, and that he thought they would be better off married. He also said that because of this he will have doubts about her choices about his friends for a long time when it comes to social issues. He said that hearing this from him was very upsetting for her, but she agreed with him and said sorry after they fought about it. We hugged like friends before saying goodbye in the parking lot, and John's voice got upset as he said sorry one last time. I think mine changed too when I let him go free. Wow, John is so honest and responsible, just like the friend I've had for most of my adult life. That made me feel good. It was a mix of emotions, like when you break up and then get back together. There was trust and friendship that used to be strong and taken for granted. We might be able to get to that place again. It looks like it could happen, which is good. And now, after weeks of strong feelings, I'm here thinking about a different kind of strong feelings. Reddit, thanks for going through this with me. More information was given to me about OOP. A lot of people said good things about it. I have worked very hard to answer people's questions without getting sidetracked and to finish other important jobs. John's desire to talk to me made me happy. Maybe the people who write are right, and they see me differently than I did. I thought we were friends. I have been letting people walk all over me up until now, so maybe I need to work on being more forceful. When I'm with John, Jane, and my other friends, I need to think about who I am and how I see myself. In the past, this connection felt a lot more real and close. But after something like this, it's hard to give a more full description of that. Everything changes over time. As much as I want to go support John, I think it would be best to go against my gut. They will reach out if John is serious and Jane is interested. In the meantime, I'm going to take a break. Let's see what comes next. I'm glad we had the chance to talk. If this is the end, I'm okay with letting him handle things. I value facing hard things more as I've grown older. I'm excited about the plans I've made with some friends for this coming weekend. Reddit, thanks for your words and ideas. After the birth of our child, my wife has been able to sleep through the night. While I was taking a short break, I found her crying. She thought I was going to take our kids away from her. Hey everyone, 5 days ago, my wife gave birth to our second child, a girl. 2 days after that, our 3-month-old son came home. I, a 25-year-old man, have been taking care of the baby every night for the past 5 days so my wife can get a good night's sleep. I also help the kids get ready in the morning. After being up all night, I got the kids ready to go outside yesterday morning. It doesn't bother me because it gives me time to play with my daughter and run with Radon. It also gives my wife time to get ready at her own speed since she is still getting better. Even though she's doing great, she started to feel bad because I couldn't sleep. Before putting our son to bed last night, I asked my wife if she could watch the kids for a while I went to the bathroom. I told her everything was fine. She was definitely upset and had tears in her eyes when I got back. She calmed me down by telling me that she was freaking out because she didn't think she was doing enough and felt bad that I was taking care of our daughter instead of sleeping. I got what she meant, and when she woke up this morning, she told me to go to bed. I had a restless night's sleep. I should not feel bad, but I think too much all the time. I never feel like I do as much as my wife as a dad. She's amazing, and she just gave birth. I want to give her some time and room to get better. Are you going? Ops replies to what people said. Are we talking about how both parents feel bad because they think they're not doing enough to help the other parent relax? Is this a sneaky way to brag? Tell your wife not to worry, though. She worked hard for most of the last 3 months of her pregnancy, and for most of the pregnancy itself. More help is on the way until you can't give it any longer. By then, she should be well rested so that you can both move forward. I need to do more. I want to prove that not all guys are in it for the bare minimum, and that I can take care of our kids and be just as reliable as moms. Changed on November 1st, 2024. Hey everyone, a lot of people saw my last post. There are so many comments that it's hard to answer them all. Please forgive me, and thank you all for your nice words. But I don't like it when people say bad things about my wife. To set the scene, I felt bad that I made my wife cry when I left her to watch the kids, even though she told me it was important for me to use the bathroom and sleep in our bed. Also, I'm taking a 6-week break from work to spend time with my child, so work isn't an issue right now. Third, you all deserve cookies. Whoever suggested that we should take turns. Tonight is the first night that we will take turns working. I will be working through the night and early morning. And there are a lot of reasons why both of us are sad. Even though this is our second child, we have been pregnant 3 times before. Nif is our unique daughter, and we didn't expect to have her. Not only that, but we also almost split 2 years ago when things were really bad. Someone who read one of my earlier posts asked me why I stayed with that person. Bad things were said at a friend's birthday party almost 2 years ago, and they haven't been fixed. I was still too upset to move on after I stopped drinking, so I told her I wanted to end our marriage. Because of the drinking, we both knew what was wrong, and she promised to get help. It was also brought up that you might need both CC and IC. There were problems that both of us thought should be fixed. To put it simply, we worked on fixing our own problems and making our relationship better, breaking habits that had been passed down from generation to generation. We had to deal with a lot of problems as we tried to get better. I lost touch with a good friend of more than 10 years because I chose to give my wife another chance. My mother-in-law was also arrested. We moved into a smaller house. A different friend tried to get in the way of our relationship, and my dad died. There have been more problems, but you get the point. We haven't had any booze since that party. And now it's October 2023. Our love for each other has grown, and we've even talked about having another child. We found out she was pregnant in the middle of October and started making plans for a surprise visit with our family for Thanksgiving. The baby dies a few days after Halloween. At this point, you may feel like you're not doing all that you should. I was 35 miles away at work when she had to go to the hospital. She thought her 80-year-old best friend would go with her, but she didn't. She had to go by herself because she was also watching a very active baby. I felt awful, and therapy hasn't helped me get over it yet. When she found out she was pregnant with our daughter, I did everything I could to help her, before and after giving birth, giving myself the promise to be the best husband and father I can be. Another thing that people often say about her is her brief moment of genius. We both enjoy dark humor and make jokes about the hard things we're going through before helping each other figure things out. She was just beginning to talk about her problem when she said she had a small problem. This leads to the problem that some people seem to have. A little crying is not the same as losing your mind. Please give me the text that you want me to make easier to understand. There is no reason to judge someone based on what they are going through. I don't talk about it because I want to keep my peace. I have to say that my wife was crying on the floor while I was in the bathroom. She was worried about going through a hard time again while our son was in his room and our baby was sleeping. It makes her feel like I'm taking on too much because she thinks I'm going to take over if she has trouble. It's not always a sign of hidden plans when someone says something that isn't clear. This post was made to answer any questions about the last one and to give information about our marriage, so I might not write another one. Thanks to everyone who said nice things, especially the moms who talked about the 5 days. My wife laughed and felt better after reading it. I know more about object-oriented programming because I'm close with a friend of more than 10 years. We think that the friend who stopped talking to me was trying to get me to leave my wife for her after I gave it some thought and talked to my doctor about it. In the same way, the friend who wanted to split us up also wanted that. My wife is very kind and has come a long way. She is also very good at telling what kind of person someone is. I didn't want to write out all of her growth in the message, but I can quickly go over a few things. She did many things, such as going to AA groups, learning to drive, setting limits with people she cared about, and ending her relationship with her ex-boyfriend. Commenter 1 has replied to comments where the original writer did so. I love both of you very much. You seem to have been through a lot, but you're pulling through. Keep your strength up, you're doing a great job. This year has been rough. Yes, but we're getting by. Also, thank you for your nice note. Hi Op, thanks for the new information. It's great that you were able to talk to her about this. She will be thankful for all the help you give her because you are a great husband and father. I'm glad the thought of 5 days made her laugh. That's the right thing to do. If she likes it, keep making fun of her. Don't stop helping her. But do remember to take care of yourself too. Don't give up, you're doing a great job. You'll both be okay. She told me that sleeping a certain number of hours doesn't get you anything. I can only say that treatment has been very helpful for me.